Hi, fellow traders. I hope everybody had an awesome day today. Um, I want to start out something I want to share with you. I know a lot of you are looking for small account videos. I had to put that on hold for a couple of days because I found out yesterday somebody tried to access my account, and right now it's locked. And we're in the process of switching it so I can get a new account number and all of that. So following protocol is going to take a couple of days in order to get that squared away. But you can say all you want about SureTrader. They do have a real good security system, and it works. So I'm not going to question their security anymore at this point. Somebody tried, and obviously my email, the average Joe Trader email is out there. Everybody knows it. So obviously I'm not going to have it as my email to manage any of my accounts. For each account, I have a separate email that I don't email anybody from. It's only there to manage that account. So nobody can know my email and then say, well, that email got corrupt. I can't remember my password because I had it, or my computer got a virus and the password was stored. Whatever the excuse they used didn't work. And it's because of the protocol. And, they had no idea what my email address was or what email was associated with that account. So, that kind of stopped them in their tracks. But just for safety and security purposes, we're going to go ahead and change it. And that's not going to stop me from doing the videos. I'm going to continue to do it, continue to show live trades. I'm just going to have to be a little bit more cautious about the information that contained in that video. I'll make sure that when I do show it, that it doesn't have any of my account information or anything like that. But I think the problem came when I accidentally streamed my screen all day in Ticket TV. I didn't know it was live, so I'm sure at several points during the day my account number was out there for everybody to see, and it may have been there where we had problems. But it's getting fixed, and all it's going to do is slow me down for this first week, kind of put me behind the 8 ball for my goal. But we can't try to make it up the first day back, and still have to continue that slow grind and just kind of build it kind of up. So for right now, I'm back in Speed Trader, and I'm going to share those trades I took today. Like I said, I was a little bit more active than I normally am, but I don't know. I guess something took over me today, and I was just trying. Well, I saw all the setup, so I can't say that I was just over trading. These were all setups that I like to trade. But we're gonna go over them now. The first one was RCL. It was a ticket that was on my watch, and I watched that to open, and it printed a long tail here, so I was kind of apprehensive about trying to take this for a 5-minute open range break. However, it would have paid off. It held under this level, but I just didn't feel confident taking it. So it would have paid. It could have gotten in here at 68.40 probably, and we had to fade at least a point. So probably could have caught a point on this, but just wasn't feeling it. The spreads were pretty big at that time, so just kind of stayed away from it. We got this one massive candle. I mean, there was no indication that the thing was going to turn around the way it did. But it did. And then we got another massive candle all the way back. So I waited to see if we were going to test VWAP again. This candle came up and it tested the 68.47 level, which I felt pretty strongly about because the 9 was moving in, the VWAP was coming in. So I figured, if I use this as my guide, I would be pretty safe. So I got short here at 68.05 and I covered some into this move down, which was at 67.47 or 41, I can't remember. But I was waiting for this. I had an order sitting out at 45 on this candle, and it never did fill. I was having trouble today with getting, orders filled. It would hit the price, and I would see a lot go through, but my orders never got filled. So it really didn't get filled until this candle. And, I got some filled here, and then it popped back up, and it stopped me out because it, closed back over the 9. This was my target. 66.97 was my target. I stuck to my stop because, I'm focusing on that in my small account. I think I had 1 or 2 trades that I let get out of hand because I didn't stick to my stop and I let it run. But if I don't stick to my stop, it's because either I wasn't paying attention or I made a mistake, which you're going to see later in one of my other trades I took today. But it stopped out here, and then it made the move down. And this is what's been happening to every trade that I've been taking for the last couple of weeks. I get a little move, I take profit, and then it goes back enough to stop me out, and then it comes back and it makes the move. So, I don't know. I'm going back and looking at, how I manage these trades to see if, maybe if I get a better entry, I may be able to withstand some of this. I don't know, but it's something that I'll probably look at this weekend. I was out. It was family weekend last weekend, so I didn't do any work. But this weekend will be packed with, me reflecting on a lot of these trades and looking at the trades that do this. Let's see, the next one I took the WDC. I think this was a reversal. Yep, it was an attempt at a bottom reversal right here. We got to move down just like we like. The RSI, it wasn't quite, low enough. It was only in the 30s, but we had the volume in here, building in. We had nice volume, and it was turning right here on the $half mark. Now, it wasn't a daily resistance, but it was a $half mark, and I will use these if we're in no man's land and it looks like it's turning around. So I was patient. I waited for this candle to print. I waited for this one to open to confirm the move up or the trend change. And I got in here at 45.73. It was a little late, about 10 cents later than what I really should have gotten in at. But I got in here and the move stalled. We traded sideways here, and there was no reason to get out. I was just going to give it a chance and see if it was going to work. Even though the 9 was coming in hard, the 20 was coming in hard, I figured if we got a little pop up here where it tested this red to green line, up here at 46, I could get out, with 25 cents, and I'd be happy with that. But never did. The move failed to follow through, and I stopped out here. and then it fell down to this 4507 level, and it just consolidated here till we got the next move down and bounced off this level and came on back. And if you notice on all of these trades, if you've worked with me in the past, you know how I draw my levels, and you know that using pivot points on the daily chart is like gold. I mean, you can't miss when you draw these pivot points from the daily, because you can see how these stocks react when it hits these levels. It doesn't have to be to the penny. You're talking about an area. On the higher dollar stocks, it's going to be like 10 cents or so. The lower dollar stocks, it can go, 3 to 5 cents either way. What it is, you're going to have traders, either retail traders or institutional traders, who use these levels, and they have their computer set up to where 5 cents below or 5 cents above, they're going to start firing out orders. So whenever you reach these levels, you're running into buyers and sellers. There's going to be a wall of buyers and sellers. In this case, it was equal. Nobody had the upper hand. Once all of these buyers were taken out, then we got the fade. And then here we ran into another level of buyers and sellers. And in this battle, the buyers won because it got bought back up. All of the sellers were exhausted. And just like the moving averages, the VWAP, these levels of support and resistance or supply zones, this is where you're going to run into buyers and sellers. So that's why these are more important. And if you look at all of my charts, you're going to see some that turn in different places, the half dollar and whole dollar marks. But most of the time, you're going to see these stocks respecting these levels. If they lose a level, it's going to consolidate or get some pause before it falls. Now, I spent a considerable amount of time testing and trying to perfect the pivot points that I mark on daily chart. So, and it's always a work in progress. No matter how long you trade, you're always looking for something to stay ahead of the market. And this is one of the areas that I spend a lot of time on, is mapping out my support and resistance from the daily chart. So that was a failed trade. The next one was SODA, which stressed me beyond belief, because I got in this. We were waiting for this pop over VWAP forever. I missed the opening range breakout. This would have been a nice move off the VWAP. Again, I didn't get filled in this. This was the first trade I was trying to take, but I did not get filled. And it moved all the way up. This would have been a beautiful opening trade, because my target was right here, 28.65. I tried to get in at 28.05. That's where I had my order, but it never hit. And it ran all the way up. And I could have had a nice 70, 80 cent move here to start my day. But, on 1,000 shares, you can't beat that. That's a nice opening move. But I waited, and I was patient. I was looking to see if it was going to bounce off VWAP. It didn't. It lost VWAP. But it based off this 27.45 level. So I felt this level was going to be significant. And I just waited, and I wanted to see it push VWAP. It tried to do it here, it tried to do it here. And finally, when it popped, I took it because I was expecting it to continue to move back up to this 28.65, or possibly test high day at the time, which was At the time, the high day was 28.97. So it fizzled. It traded sideways, and I figured, well, it's probably going to trade sideways a little while and then kind of get the slow grind up. So I went and started answering email. I got caught up in something and took my mind off of it. When I look back, I was down like 500 bucks. Just that quick. And so that was a mistake that I made, taking my mind off, or taking my eye off the chart when I was in the trade, just because I assumed it was going to continue to trade slow and consolidate along this level to possibly 11 o'clock or so, and that's just based on the experience that I have in watching tickers. But I got caught up in the email and completely forgot I was in the trade. And, this is what happened. At one point, I was almost $800 in the hole, or over $800 in the hole. The only thing that kept me in this trade was this level here, 27.45. Because this level was such strong support here, and it held as resistance here in pre-market, I felt pretty strongly about this level. So I anticipated it to bounce off of this, but I wasn't going to dare add. I mean, yeah, I had the buying power. I could have added another 1,000 shares here, but I did not want to add. I just held on to it. I was looking to see if it would get back to VWAP. If it got back to VWAP, I could get out with an acceptable loss. But when it came back and it started to hold, it looks like it was going to claim VWAP. I held on to my position. So this was a big mistake. Normally, I would not hold through all of this. I would have stopped out right here. As soon as it lost the 9 moving average or started washing, I probably would have stopped out before it even hit this 20. But I wasn't paying attention. And one thing you have to do is always pay attention to, if you're in a trade, don't turn your back. But I did get the move. I got half off up here at 52. We got the pullback to the 9, and I was looking for 628.65. That's what I was looking for. But I didn't get filled. This thing popped up. I had an order out at 85, because what I was looking at was this upper deviation band here. So I figured if it turned around, we had the 9 right here. This thing's been riding the 9 up. So I wanted to see if it would get this deviation band. I had an order out here at 85. It didn't hit it on this candle, because the high of this candle was like 83. Then, it pulled back to the 65 level. This candle opened and pushed up, and I finally got filled at 89. So I don't know why today I was having trouble. My orders were sitting there, they were just not getting hit. But this turned out to be a real nice trade, but just have to pay attention. This was really stressful, a really stressful trade. And the last trade I took, WPZ, was another one that really didn't have any follow through. It was a top reversal, the strong move up. I was looking for it to reverse off of this 37.82. This candle failed to push. This candle opened and started selling. So I got in 37.81, 37.80, somewhere in there. I got in and got a quick wash down to the 50. So I got out at 37.58. I took half off. And I was looking for the next leg, which would have been the 3723 level down here. Because this is the upper deviation band. Most of the time when the stock gets outside of this, it's gonna not trade outside of that band that long. Plus, the RSI was up in the 90s. So to me, this was an ideal setup to reverse, and reverse pretty hard, at least back to this level. But it didn't, no follow through. It gave me enough follow through to take some profit, and then it pushed up. My stop was going to be this level here, 3805. I wanted to take it off at break even, but it just didn't work out. So we got the pullback here, and on this, I was really looking for the 20 at this point, and it came down and kind of tapped the 20, so I was able to mark it out here. It got out at 47 on that. And here again, I was down a little bit, but based on what my trades have been doing, I was going to give it to this level because it was so close. This level was only, it was less than 20, well, about 23 cents away from my initial level I was wanting to base the trade off of. So, and right where my entry was. So I was able to give it enough room up here, especially since I had locked in this profit. But it did come back down and then give me the wash. I didn't like the way it was kind of chopping here at this point. I didn't like the price action, so I was just kind of waiting for it to give me an out, and it did. Went ahead and took the out, and that was it. So I had some decent trade. I had one red trade on WDC that really didn't follow through the way I wanted it to. 3 decent trades, one big mistake that I was able to recover from, but all in all, a pretty good day, considering everything that I had to deal with. So we're going to continue for the next couple of days on the Speed Trader, but I'll still do the recap videos, and as soon as we get Speed Trader back up and running, then I'll be back focusing on that 100%. But everybody, have a great evening, great night, or great morning if you're on the other side, and we will see you tomorrow in chat.